Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask Podcast Live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in for your Thursday afternoon special about services developed in the city of Detroit and beyond. So today we have our COVID panel discussion, which is normally, ladies and gentlemen, we invite 2 or 3 businesses to come along and tell us about what services are available for persons in the city of Detroit, state and throughout the state of Michigan. So today we have a returning guest with us who is my co-host, Lisa Franklin, CEO and founder of Warriors on Wheels of Metropolitan Detroit. And with Ms. Franklin, she has brought along with her Ruth Johnson, Public Policy Director of CCAD. Now let Ruth and Lisa tell you more about that. So good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Marsha. Again, thank you for having us. And it is my pleasure to co-host with you today. And the guest that I brought on is Ruth Johnson with CDAD. And Ruth will tell you what that acronym stands for. But she is the Public Policy Director over there. And I've known Ruth for a little while now, at least 10 years. We've been working in transportation, and she supported an organization doing a lot of different things in the community. And we look up to Ruth for a lot of the knowledge that she has on public policy and other things that help us get the things that we need to get done. So we appreciate you very much and keep doing what you're doing. So if you would just explain to us what CDAD stands for.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Marsha. And I also am thankful for this opportunity to share information, knowledge, and power. So as CDAD, which stands for Community Development Advocates of Detroit Policy Director, I am part of a nonprofit organization. It's a member-oriented organization made up of neighborhood improvement groups and community development organizations throughout the city of Detroit. We have over 200 members who are doing great work serving the people of the city of Detroit. We do our work not directly providing services or programs to Detroit residents, but to our members through capacity building, public policy advocacy, and technical support. Okay. It's wonderful to have this opportunity to talk about COVID relief, advice, and assistance.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, ladies, we're still under the watchful eye of COVID-19. So, a lot of people are trying to figure out when can they resume a lot of their businesses. We have housing issues, transportation issues, food service issues. Everything is still in, turned upside down in the new year. So Lisa, I want to start with you now. I do know, Lisa, that you guys were doing a grocery delivery program. Is that program still in effect right now?
Yes, Marsha, that program is in effect right now. We are still delivering groceries to seniors and people with disabilities who register for the program. And you can do that on Mondays and Fridays between the hours of 11 and 2 at 313-251-5777.
And I'm sorry, I think we have a flyer, Lisa, to help with
that.
Yes,
it's here. I see it here. Can you see it?
Okay, I think we do. Yeah, okay. So that flyer, okay, people can get that information off there too. So tell us, I'm sorry to cut you off, but tell us a little bit more about that program.
No, that's okay. We started it actually when COVID first started in April. And people called in, and how it works is we can either you can pay with your bridge card as long as you give us authorization to do so, and cash or either a debit card, and we have a square reader. So if you're paying by cash or debit, we go to the grocery store. Well, you call in, we make your grocery list in our system, and it's sent to a driver, and we give you that delivery day. And then on that day, they will either come to your home and pick up your card and go to the grocery store and purchase your groceries, and they'll call you for your PIN number for your bridge card at the register and bring you back the receipt, the card, and your groceries. If you're doing cash or debit, then the organization pays for your groceries up front.
Mhm.
We go and get your groceries and then come to your door and you pay us according to the receipt.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Now, how's that working out so far?
Well, it's working out great. Our seniors love it. We love our seniors, and people with disabilities are really benefiting from it too, because they don't have to be out there, exposed to COVID. And so people who really need it use it. I'll just put it like that. The service is there, but we do need more money because we've gotten a couple of grants to cover the delivery, because we pay for the delivery through the grant money that we receive and donations that we receive. So we have a group of drivers and they're paid to do the grocery shopping and the delivery, and it covers their gas, a little bit of their gas and their mileage and things like that. So yes, we do need more money into that program so we can continue, because with this new outbreak of a new strand coming around, who knows how long we're going to be locked up. And if you need masks, also contact the organization, because through the governor and through GM, we've gotten a boatload of masks that we're trying to distribute. So if you are out there in the public and you're a person with a disability or a senior, or if you're really in need, we're not trying to discriminate. Just let us know and we can make sure that you get some of those masks. They're the N90. So
there's your information at the bottom of the screen, and that's great. So people will know where to call or email and get that information. That's great.
Thank you.
Great. So let me pick back over to Ruth right quick. So Ruth, now you have some questions on the table, and one in particular that I was reading earlier is about the eviction moratorium. What is going on with that?
There's been a lot going on since COVID-19 started. If you remember in 2020, people had trouble paying their rent. And so I was very proud on both the local level here in the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, and the federal government had various moratoriums, meaning on the landlords could not file an eviction action lawsuit against the tenant for non-payment of the rent. That doesn't mean you didn't owe the rent. You still owed the rent, but the landlord couldn't take you to court for non-payment. Now, there could be other reasons, like if you bust up the place, the landlord could still take you. But for a long time, our courts were closed. Like many of us, we were trying to figure out, how do we do this when we were trying to socially distance and keep everyone safe? So we had different moratoriums, and they'd have deadlines, and then they'd extend it. Then they extend it again, which I am very thankful for that. But that makes life very precarious when you don't know when they're going to end. Right now, the Federal Center for Disease Control has a moratorium that ends March 31st of this year. Okay. The thing is, Marcia, I really want your listeners to understand, the tenant has to file a declaration. First, they got to know that there's a moratorium. And second, they've got to file a declaration, just a form. And so that's why I'm so thankful for this opportunity to tell people that they can get that form. But more importantly, they probably need legal help and advice.
Yeah.
So with some CARES Act money, the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan offered eviction prevention help services. So that's for both landlords and tenants. But in the city of Detroit, if they contact the evictionpreventionhelp.com or the hotline, they could be connected with someone, because if you're having trouble paying your rent, probably you're having trouble paying your utilities, food, like Lisa was talking about, lots of other things are going on. So they have a very holistic wraparound approach, not just to help you with your rent, but they also will pay for an attorney to represent you in 36th District Court.
So wait a minute, Ruth, let me back up here. Now, this is like new news to me as well. How did the people know about it? Or how did people learn about it? I mean, after today, if the phones don't ring off the hook, I don't know why not. But how did people know in advance about this particular situation that, can be covered? Because now people are starting to get in fear again. Now, I was told just recently that the free bus ride ends in March, okay? The moratorium on housing eviction ends in March. Now, people are not prepared, and here it is, we're at the end of February, and here it is, they're going to go into the next couple of months, and they're going to be like floored because they don't know. So do they have, or do you know offhand, if they don't become familiar with these tools, what would happen? Or hey, it's just a buzz.
I think you recognize a good thing. Getting information out to people before COVID can be challenging. With COVID, almost everything's digital, online. And if you don't have access to the internet or a device, or you're not savvy, or you have a disability that makes it more difficult for you to get this information digitally, yeah, it's a problem. But fortunately, advocates like at CDAD and across the city is working with the city of Detroit, 36th District Court, and Wayne Metro is actually the agency that is one of the partners on the city level to provide services and support, as well as our legal services organizations are working with people in the hood to get the information out to the people who most need it. I think more can be done. And that's why, again, I'm thankful for this opportunity.
Yeah, I appreciate you, because I look at it like, time is ticking, and we have no idea what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 months, and people are just going to be falling out. And what I don't like is that when you don't know, you get afraid and you go from bad to
right.
So, I like for people to at least get heads up, and hopefully today, although we're on Facebook Live, people who are watching will share this information to help themselves and help family members and neighbors, because you really don't know how people are feeling right now. It's one thing to deal with COVID and you're trying to be safe, but it's another thing to say, I might not have my home, or I might not have a way to get to this information. What am I supposed to do? Okay.
And I have a question for Ruth. You talked about the declaration page. How would a person find that? Do they have to seek an attorney in order to seek out this declaration, or is it online?
No, it's online. See, that's the problem. You first have to know about it and then be able to get it online. I would say there's 2 ways you can get it. So you can go to DetroitEvictionHelp.com. Again, if you have internet access and that works for you, or they have a hotline, which is 866-313-2520. I want to repeat that because for some people that's easier. There's a hotline, 866-313-2520. Okay. Now, if you remember, the CARES Act funding, cities, states, nonprofits had to use up their money by December 2020. We're waiting for some more federal money to come through the pipeline, through the federal government, state government, and then it's called SARA, the COVID Emergency Rental Act. And what's even better than what was available last year, it's available without actually having a court case. You don't have to wait to get the thing on your door.
Right.
And it's also better for landlords. So landlords could just do bulk applications on behalf of their tenants.
Wow.
So it's going to be better, but still people got to know about it and people have to choose to be part of it.
So Ruth, let me ask you, are there any, and I don't want to say, well, I have to put it this way, special condition grants or services for persons with disabilities and seniors, or this program is all inclusive, no matter who?
So this program is for tenants and landlords, but also I believe it's also for people in informal living arrangements. You know how we stay with people, there's no written lease, we just stay with people. Or there's some debates whether it covers land contracts and rent to own and some other things that we do to have a place to live. I'm aware of United Community Housing Coalition. They're actually going into multiple family buildings, apartments, senior buildings, and before the landlord even files for eviction, they just go and say, are you having trouble paying your rent, and trying to get to people. But as to your question about people with disability, that's up to when you call the hotline. Wayne Metro will do a whole intake and ask you all the questions. Some are income, some are your population demographic, some is where you live. And in every county in the state of Michigan, there is an agency that is doing eviction prevention help.
Great. I was gonna get to that because I'm like, we air all over. So I know somebody in Oakland County, Macomb County. What about us? Okay. Let me ask you this. What is the status of the tax foreclosure right about now?
I'm so glad you asked. So same thing with the eviction foreclosure. There's both mortgage foreclosure moratorium last year and a tax foreclosure moratorium last year.
Okay.
Well, no, not good. So the problem is with the tax moratorium, Wayne County Treasurer's Office said during 2020, we're not going to foreclose on anybody for not paying your taxes. Well, that stopped in 2021. So what I'm going to ask your listeners, your watchers, if they're in Wayne County and they are having trouble paying their taxes, they need to contact the Treasurer's Office. If you're in the city of Detroit, there's some programs. There's a poverty tax exemption, a senior exemption, and there's lots of things that you may be eligible for. You can appeal your tax assessment. There's lots of things you can do, and it depends on where you are, your age, your status. But the main thing is, there is help, ask for it.
Okay.
And my question is this. I'm sorry, Marcia.
Go ahead.
Does CDAD serve as a navigator for people who need assistance in trying to do some of these things in Wayne County, or is this something that someone would have to?
No, CDAD again doesn't provide direct services. However,
Only to members. That's correct. I'm sorry.
Some of our members are providing that type of help. And if you go to the City of Detroit Assessor's Office, they will have a list of the nonprofit organizations that could help you fill out the appeal form or for the exemption form. There's always a form, my dears. And that's one of the problems. It's like, I've argued, look, if you've been poor all your life, and I'm not trying to put shade on somebody, and you've been at poverty level, why do I have to fill out the form every year? Unless I won the lottery, and you still, and they have made some changes to make it easier. If you were eligible for some of these exemptions in 2019, you don't have to fill out the long form with all the documentation. And they got smart enough. If you were a senior over the age of 65 last year, you're probably still a senior over the age of 65 this year. I mean, some of this is laughable, but it's crazy requiring people to first
same thing, right?
Know about it, fill out the form, get help filling out the form, especially if you have any kind of different abilities without digital access. It just makes things, and some of these, like, they required a notary.
All right, Ruth, but you answered the question, really why they keep making people fill the forms over and over, in case you come into some money, in case you do hit the lottery. So they're saying, well, you shouldn't be applying for this because now you've come into some money. So they're verifying that, your condition is still the same or has it worsened? And we do need a short form for a person to fill out instead of all this long range. Because once the claim is open, design a short form to ask them, is your situation continuous, or is this still your same status? Not having to fill it out from A all the way to Z. That takes so long that I get discouraged about filling it out.
Exactly.
Right.
You are a great policy advocate because that just makes sense.
But you know what? I think the setup for that is done on purpose. I hate to say it. I think a lot of times forms and things are made to discourage you so that, hey, we don't have to do a whole lot of work. We want to give somebody some money or we want to give somebody some services, but that's the ones who really want to put forth the effort to fill out these forms. But what about those who can't fill out the forms for various reasons? Dyslexia, learning curves, or inability physically or stuff like that. You put too much pressure on people to do something, even though you're saying the money is available. Some monies get sent back because people can't respond. We need to design a better way to communicate and help people be able to navigate through these forms to get what they need and know that it's a continuation. It's not just a one-time shot.
Well, let me say this for anyone within the sound of my voice, or you may know someone with a disability who needs help filling out a form for a declaration or any other services that they need that may be online and you don't have the equipment, please give us a call at 313-251-5777. We're here to help. That's what we're all here for, to help. So please do not hesitate. If you know someone that is up for eviction or about to lose their home to foreclosure for taxes, just give us a call and we'll try to get you the help that you need.
I'm glad you said that, Lisa. So while I got you on the big screen, I want you to tell us more about the ride share for the voters. You've been working on that so much, so I want to get that out. Even though it's not voting time, we still need to know, what is the ride share for voters?
Rideshare to Vote is a new program that's happening all over the country. It's out of Texas. It's an organization out of Texas that are providing rides for people with disabilities to the poll. Prior to election day for early voting up to election day. And it's no cost to the person. It's a volunteer program. And all of the vehicles will be provided by this company, unless you have your own vehicle and you'd like to use it to provide the service for us. So we're working now with the group to partner with the group, and we'll be coming out with more information about it. But yes, please know that if you're a person with disabilities, you have the right to vote. And you must register to vote. We need you in this fight. And there are a couple of elections this year for mayor and and city council, yes. And then next year is for the governor. So we're partnering for 2 years with this company, Rideshare to Vote, to get people to the polls. So we'll need volunteers as drivers. We'll also need volunteers. We were on a roundtable this morning with Jocelyn Benson and Hester Wheeler, talking about what's going on in the state as far as accessibility is concerned. So they're going to need people who do sign language, and they're going to need volunteers who know disability etiquette. And so we're searching for that so that we can get our roles and our roster together now prior to election so we can be ready. So look for that Rideshare to Vote, Warriors on Wheels, and Rideshare to Vote out of Texas. Okay. And that's coming this year and next year. So thank you for asking about that. And hopefully we can come back and give you more information too. You can always call, you can always call our hotline number at 313-251-5777 to get more information if you'd like to volunteer or need more information. Yes.
Okay. So now, Ruth, I have to piggyback to you. I'm going back and forth between you wonderful ladies because I know today's show in particular has a twist. I mean, somebody's saying, I'm hungry. I need that food price delivery service. Someone else is saying I'm getting, lost in my home is being up for eviction, or my property taxes are out of order. So Ruth, what would you say to a person right about now, since we know that March is amongst us, and by the time this show airs, it will be March, okay? So what would you say to a person is there a deadline that they need to get this paperwork process, or how long would it take?
So I'm so glad you asked. So the deadline in terms of how long the moratorium will be is different than applying for help. Mm-hmm. So I don't want anyone hearing us think, oh, shoot, I missed the deadline. My message is ask for help. Keep asking for help until you get the help you need. Don't worry about deadlines, because it's funny, things can be extended. Mm-hmm. There's pots of money over here, this over here, and you first have to ask. So the moratorium deadline of March 31st does not affect what rental relief, legal services is available to low-income Detroiters, or really any Detroiter. Mm-hmm. Ask for help. Call the hotline. Go to DetroitEvictionHelp.com. Or if you just have a neighbor that's in the know, they can hook you up, because you may not have, the ability to be on the phone on hold and hit button 2 and then hit button 3. My main message is ask for help, keep asking for help until you get your help.
That's right. That's right.
That's beautifully said. That's why we're called Just Ask, Ruth. Did you know that? Okay. That's why we're Just Ask. Okay. We want people to ask these questions. It's
really as simple as that.
We want people to know where everything is. And, during this time, we're doing Zoom, we still have that way to deliver the messages. And this is a positive message. So we're glad to have you ladies come on in particular to tell us about stuff, because somebody's at home, in deep depression, thinking that, they're not going to be able to survive throughout this year. And the year has just begun.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that too, Marsha, because I did mention our 3 meetings that we have. We have a Monday membership meeting, Monday and Wednesday membership meeting. And then on Friday night, if you're not doing anything, at 7:00, we have a jam session. So we hook up on Zoom and we listen. We have Battle of the Bands this weekend. We're going to do Marvin Gaye and Al Green.
Okay.
And so we vote, we just have fun with it. And then we've had karaoke on Friday nights. We just talk about current events, and we have debates on Friday night.
You keeping
So
people.
yeah, just keep people in the motion and keeping up with people and just seeing everyone's face. And I mean, we have a regular group that don't miss, because there's a lot of people sitting at home with that could use just to talk to somebody familiar.
Now, how should one get in contact with you or your agency?
Well, they can go on our website, or either they can call that number there, that 313-251-5777. But our website is www.wow4metrodetroit.org. And our meeting dates and times and all of that is on there. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Ruth, is there a email or website or phone number that someone can communicate with you guys?
Sure. The best way to reach CDAD, Community Development Advocates of Detroit, online is www.cdad-online.org. But I just wanted to follow up something, Marcia, you said, and Lisa mentioned, people are struggling. So if somebody, whether it's for yourself, your child, someone else you know needs mental health counseling, tele mental health, again, have them call the hotline, the helpline of 866-313-2520. Not only can they help you with your rent, your utilities, they can help you in a large ways, because they can connect you. And it's not one of these, referrals where they say, call this person, do this. They actually help you and stay with you to make sure you're getting the help you need, because too many people are just told, call this number, and you call that number, they say, call this number, or you're on hold for so long, and you're just like, you don't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There are people who do understand.
Well, ladies, I hate to wrap up, because really we're on a roll here, and I am really enjoying both of you. So what I want to do is, you can always come back. So we don't have a cap on when you come. We always want you to come back. So Lisa, will you come back and join us again?
Absolutely. My pleasure. Just let me know.
Thank you so much. And Ruth, thank you for joining us for the first time, but I do want to offer you the same opportunity. Will you come back and join us again as well?
Yeah,
Ruth?
it would be my absolute pleasure and honor.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to wrap it up, but I got to. So you can always see this particular show and many more Just Dance Talk Show podcast lives on Facebook. And when you're not on Facebook, keep in mind, share the word. We're on channel 56 every Wednesday morning at 5:30 a.m. and then on Fridays at 2:30 in the afternoon. So you can't miss this program, because we're always available. I'm your host, Marcia Florence, for Just Dance. And what do I always say? If you know a person with a disability, or if you just have a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host. Thank you. See you next time.